This is why 95% of all AI automation agencies are failed. I promise you, when you take the information I give you in this video to heart and you actually apply it, then you will get your first AI automation agency client within the next 2 weeks. So let's not waste time and jump into the video. Reason number 1, you picked a stupid niche. To identify that, it's actually not that easy because you think your niche is great, otherwise you wouldn't have picked that niche. But turns out that it might not be. When I started out, I started in the Airbnb niche. We built a pretty advanced chatbot for Airbnb hosts that is capable of managing multiple properties, has a translation system, and overall offers great features for the host. The host doesn't really have to chat with the guests anymore. The guests can text the chatbot 24/7. It responds within seconds, and also the language barrier is no problem because there is a built-in translation system. Sounds great, right? But there's another problem with that niche, the outreach. Airbnb doesn't share the email address nor the phone number, and reaching out through Airbnb is forbidden. Meaning you have to look into Facebook groups, have to look on LinkedIn. It's basically extremely hard to get leads. So how valuable is the best product in the world with the best advertisement in the world if no one sees it? So when picking a niche, all of the following factors have to be fulfilled. First of all, as I stated, opportunities for lead generation. You can have the best product in the world. If no one sees it, it's not worth anything. Especially in the beginning, you won't really have inbound clients, so clients that find and contact you. You have to rely on outreach, so it's important to have opportunities for outreach. Niches who fulfill that requirement are niches where the companies in there are publicly available. Also, these companies should be small to medium-sized because it's really hard to reach out to CEOs and managers of large companies. Also, they always require testimonials. So when you start reaching out, focus on these companies instead. Some niches that fulfill that requirement are e-commerce stores, restaurants, real estate, or logistic companies. Factor number 2, increase efficiency or decrease pain points. Either your solution has to take pain away, like the Airbnb bot takes away support work, or it has to make money, like a conversion bot converts more visitors into clients. One guy told me about his idea. He wanted to create a chatbot for cosmetic surgeries specialized in Botox. The bot should answer all the questions patients have, but there's a problem there. These patients get a clear instruction before the actual surgery, and when there are problems coming up, they should probably contact the doctor itself instead of letting a chatbot answer them. Additionally, these kind of doctors are flooded with patients. They don't have a problem getting patients in there. And besides that, also questions are not that frequent that doctors have problem with answering them. So the bot doesn't really take pain away, nor does it make money. That's why I wouldn't choose to create that bot. Best case is of course increasing efficiency as well as taking pain away. A good example for that is an e-commerce bot who answers questions, and after the questions are answered, convert the visitor into a customer by, for example, offering them great products based on their needs. That way, you just decrease support work of that e-commerce store and made them more money. I think that's a great selling point. Factor number 3, focus on a small, independent problem. Either know your niche or extensively research it before you go into it. Because in the beginning, you instantly see all that areas that you could improve with artificial intelligence. But when you actually go into that area, you get familiar with all the workflows, the problems, and how everything is connected. You come to the conclusion that sometimes it's more valuable to leave that problem as it is instead of changing everything. In other words, maybe you have a solution for a problem, but for integrating that, they have to change all of their current workflows in the company. And that will take so much time and effort that it just wouldn't make sense for the company to change it. So search for one problem that is independent, meaning you can provide a solution without changing all the workflows around it. Maybe the contact form from small businesses aren't automated yet. They have to fill it out themselves, write an email, and send it to you, and you as the customer have to wait multiple hours for your answer. Provide a solution for that. Automate that whole thing without changing other stuff. So in conclusion, offer a solution, don't offer a solution and provide more problems. Factor number 4, choose the blue ocean instead of the shark tank. Especially when you just start out, don't go to war with much more experienced providers out there. One example would be picking the hotel niche. There are already really big AI solution providers in that niche out there that are helping hotels with automating their processes. Starting in that niche as a beginner is just not a smart thing to do. I'm not particularly saying stay completely out of that niche. I mean, maybe you have a lot of experience in hotels, then go into that niche, but niche more down. Maybe focus only on golf hotels and build a solution that the other big providers don't have yet that is tailored for golf hotels. But even better would be choose the ocean as blue as possible. Meaning, choose a niche that checks all the boxes I mentioned so far with as little competition as possible. Make your life easy on that. First of all, you're not at constant competition, what makes it far more easy, especially when you're just starting and figuring things out. Also, it's much easier to get a great ranking at the search engines, what will generate you inbound leads. If you got all of these factors fulfilled, chances are that you got yourself a great niche. Now, let's talk about the second reason why your AI agency is failing. Before we come to reason 2, if you found anything at least a little bit helpful so far, please consider leaving a like on this video. It helps me tremendously. Reason number 2, no professional internet presence. It's often the same. People hear about AI automation, think it's a great product to sell, what it actually is, start creating a bot and reaching out with email and phone calls instantly, but don't really get a response, and then think, is AI really a good idea? Yes, it is, but you're doing it wrong. The reality is, you are not trying to sell a vacuum cleaner. You are trying to sell an AI solution to companies what even could contain a risk for them when working with sensitive user data. Also, that solution requires trusting you, because when something doesn't work, the company will potentially lose clients as well as money. So put yourself in their shoes. Would you trust someone who just called you but doesn't have a LinkedIn profile, nor a website or anything like that? Wouldn't you like to know with who you are actually going into that business relationship? Of course you would. So to have a professional internet presence, you need the following. First of all, a landing page for your agency. When you build chatbots, for example, you can include a chatbot on your website and use it as a showcase for potential clients. That way, you mediate trustworthiness and present your solution at the same time. Then you also include a contact form on your website and you just created your first funnel that creates inbound leads for you. An awesome side effect, people start finding you through search engines, what generates free inbound leads for you. So all in all, a professional website gives you a ton of advantages. Don't skip that step. So how to create a professional website? If you have some knowledge in HTML and CSS, use Webflow. Webflow uses the HTML and CSS logic, but is a website builder themselves. So you can actually build anything you want in Webflow, and you are not restricted as in other website builders like Wix or Squarespace. But at the same time, it's far more easy and fast than coding the website actually yourself. For prototyping the website, use Figma. Figma is an amazing tool. I personally use Figma for everything I can, for creating graphics, making presentations, and creating website prototypes. If you are not familiar with HTML and CSS, use Framer. Framer is a state-of-the-art website builder that lets you create really stunning websites without needing the knowledge of coding. Besides the landing page, you need a professional LinkedIn profile. All the time I thought LinkedIn is for having it and only referring to it. Boy, was I wrong. Even if the companies in your niche are ranked on Google, unlike Airbnb hosts, it's still pretty hard to contact people with decision-making power. Most of the time, you are chatting to support workers. But the managers, as well as the CEOs, are normal human beings and they are on LinkedIn. So when you create a professional LinkedIn account and start networking there, you can skip the step of chatting to the support workers and instantly DM the actual CEOs. But when doing that, please keep one thing in mind: provide value first. Don't just connect to these people and try to sell, because as I said, CEOs are human beings, but they are aware that they are CEOs. When you start reaching out, try to receive help, not money. So ask them for their advice. Tell them you just started out and you try to find niches for providing AI solutions. Because these people are most of the time really good at what they're doing. That's why they are the CEO and they have a ton of experience as well. And if a CEO likes you, as well as the work you do, the lead will actually come in automatically, because then people will ask you for your help. And all that without trying to force any sales. So a LinkedIn profile as well as a nice landing page are a must-have in my opinion. Third thing, a YouTube channel. It's optional, but it's very helpful. Putting out content on YouTube is very helpful on many levels. First of all, your potential clients get to know you. And it's always a superior feeling when doing business with someone you kinda know. Through YouTube, you get a first feeling about who someone is, how he speaks, how he thinks, and so on. That way, potential clients can already connect with you even if you haven't spoken with them yet. Also, YouTube is a great lead generator, and the YouTube search engine is the second biggest of all search engines by usage. So people who are interested in working with an AI automation agency are likely to search on YouTube for that as well. And if they see you putting out informative and qualitative videos, you verify your expertise to them. People in general don't like taking risks when it comes to spending money. They want to know who they are hiring for a job and what knowledge this person has. You can showcase yourself and your skills amazingly with a YouTube channel. But when a YouTube channel provides so much value, why did I say it's optional then? Because creating appealing and informative content is a ton of work. When you are just starting out, you have to prioritize. First of all, get familiar with all the important programs and workflows like BotPress, VoiceFlow, Zapier, and so on. After that, you have to get your LinkedIn and your website ready. Only if you have all these fundamentals, only then think about creating your YouTube channel. Because once it's created, you should stick to it. If you're just creating video every 3 months, it's not really professional. One more side note before you start with YouTube. The AAA area on YouTube gets bigger and bigger, and there are more and more content creators that put out amazing videos. That means the competition there is also increasing. So your content needs to stand out, it needs to be unique. Either with your personality or with the video editing itself or with the information you provide. Now, reason number 3, your sales process sucks. I talked about professionalism before and that you are trying to sell a digital solution to actual companies. You shouldn't just call these companies and trying to convince them into buying your product. I mean, you could do that, but I don't think that it's gonna work great. So in order to actually close a client, you have to understand how selling works. Because people are intelligent, don't underestimate them. People will feel when you're actually just trying to make money and selling something. You have to provide a solution tailored to them. Focus on providing value, then the money follows, not the other way around. How should your sales process actually look like? I have to admit there are people out there that are far better at explaining that than I am. For example, Patrick Bet-David or Alex Hormozi. But I can give you a general guideline. Before you should even think about selling a solution, you have to first understand the problems of your clients. So if you've booked the first call with a client, don't prepare your solutions. Prepare questions you would like to ask. Try to understand their problem and their workflow as best as you can. Ask the important questions. Where are the pain points? How do they generate their clients? Stuff like that. It really depends on what you are trying to sell. When you're trying to sell a support chatbot that answers user questions, then ask them, for example, what kind of questions their client asks, where they reach out to, how fast they get a response, how often they are happy with the response. If you're creating an automating booking process, then ask questions about the booking. Be specific. You have to know everything about it. Once you get all the information, only then, you should think about how you can help that company, what kind of solution you can provide. Now, when it comes to selling your solution, words aren't enough. People don't like taking risks when spending money, especially bigger amounts. So create an appealing presentation. Talk about the problem, your solution to that problem, and why your solution is great. Additionally, you have to show a demo of your solution. The goal is that your potential client doesn't have any more questions nor concerns. Only if you are able to answer all their questions without leaving a concern, only then you are able to sell your product. Because selling is the hardest part, even if your product is great. Because you may know your product is great, but your potential client doesn't. So create a demo, create an awesome presentation, come as prepared as possible into that call.
Come prepared.
Leave nothing to chance, it's not a game. You can actually select your deck of cards. Now you've got all the information you need. I would advise you to take a step back and analyze your agency based on the provided information. And be real to yourself. Do you really have checked all the boxes? Or is there still room for improvement? Make adjustments, change your niche, create a YouTube channel, create your LinkedIn, update your website, learn selling, and overall just improve. Because that way, clients will start coming to you and you will elevate your agency into the 5% that are actually very profitable.